and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and I'm working on my Heaven and Earth design again. Heaven and Earth design in August is going well. So the last one I did, I filmed on Thursday and you guys saw on Friday where I completed this section. Now, because I actually did it on Thursday, I did do another section on Friday as well. So in effect, I did 2 on Thursday and 1 on Friday. And I actually ditched another colour. So 603 is finished. I do need to put it away, which is why I've brought it in with me. I've got my section for Saturday. And then I'm actually filming this WIP Chat on Saturday. I did plan on having a big filming day today, getting all the videos ready for next week, including one for Saturday. However, it's hot. We're in the middle of a heat wave in the UK, and the UK does not cope with heat waves, and neither do I. So it's a little bit too warm. I've just noticed I'm actually missing a diamond. I do have the odd diamond that pops off. So I'll have to pop another green or a dark blue if I come across one in there. But yes, the UK doesn't cope well with heat. So I'm actually doing this late on Saturday because the heat wave does continue into Sunday. But then we should have thunderstorms and it should go back to the normal British summer, which is a mixture of sun and rain. I'm fine with that. So yeah, apologies that there wasn't a video yesterday, but I am hoping that this evening I can get a few videos done, prep ready for next week, and then I can get some more done when it cools down. But I thought I'll start with the WIP Chat. So we have the video up on Sunday. So I am doing the supersized Little Dreamer's Tree Max Colours by Amy Stewart on a cross-stitch chart from Heaven and Earth Designs. It originally had 239 colours. I think I'm now down to 230 colours left, and it is a 40 by 250. Last WIP Chat, I achieved the milestone of completing 1 meter's worth. Woohoo! And I ditched a colour. I had a colour that was all done, and say the section after that I had another colour that was all done. It feels like it's getting somewhere when I keep getting colours that are all done. So I say I am really enjoying doing this. I'm enjoying pulling it out and doing a section a day, and then there are some days where I get a couple of sections done. So the weekend one is always a bit funnier. So in effect, this section I'm doing now, when I just count how many I'm actually supposed to be going across, this section I'm doing now is, oh hang on, I've got another one that I have to count a lot. 2, 3, 4, 5, a gap of 5, and then I want it in that one. Yeah, this section that I'm doing now is actually my second section for Saturday. Hence it says 600 stitched today already, and it will increase as I finish this up. So hopefully I will get another one done tomorrow, Sunday. Maybe not. It is the day for packing launch orders tomorrow. I've been doing some little bit of some prep work today, but the big day is tomorrow. I do want to say thank you ever so much to everybody for their huge understanding in relation to our printer issues. So for anybody that's unaware, let me give you the story. So we have a laser printer for printing our stickers, etc. So they're not affected like an inkjet is with moisture. So we have a laser printer. We initially had one laser printer, and I think it was actually last month on launch it started giving us problems. It was a launch weekend again, However, it wasn't as paper heavy a launch weekend, but it was still a launch weekend. It was giving us problems, and we actually had the engineer out to it about 3 times within the course of a week. So it was all under the same thing. Basically, he really struggled to fix the problem. He kept coming back with parts, and the parts he brought didn't actually fix the issue. So in the end, they actually said, nah, we can't fix this, we're going to exchange it. The exchange process, he said, could take a few weeks, and we're like, nah. We cannot wait a few weeks. So what we decided to do was we decided to purchase a slightly upgraded laser printer, and when the original faulty one got exchanged, that would become our spare printer. So that is the reason that we actually had a sale on some stickers, because the 2 printers actually print some of the stickers slightly different. Some they're completely fine with, but some of them, the colour tones are a little bit different. The whole joys of colour printing on printers that aren't set up for the files that have been created and all the rest of it. I'm sure there will be many people in the know, and I'm sure there will be many people that fall asleep if I went through the whole RGB and CMYK colour schemes. But there are many colours in the world, as we know by DMC colours. So we did decide to discount off the colours from the original printer. We do actually prefer the colours from the new printer. We do think they're a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit softer, but nice. So we decided, to discount the items from the old printer when we discontinued the yellow. And we were waiting for those just to go down a little bit, ready to bulk print and stock up the shelves. However, in the meantime, the new printer decided to develop a fault. We contacted the manufacturer directly, and we had an engineer out. He ordered a part, it actually fixed it. It fixed the problem, and that was it. Great. 4 days later, or 5 days later maybe, it had a similar fault to the original one, but a slightly different colour fault. And we decided, which is probably, well, turns out to be a big mistake, but we thought it would be okay. We contacted the company we bought the printer from to say, this is less than 30 days old. We have already had a fault with this. We're now experiencing a fault again. What can you do? And they did the whole, we will look into it. In the end, all they turned around and said is we can get the manufacturer to come out under the warranty. The problem is while they advised us that the manufacturer was coming out under the warranty, whatever they did or didn't do, it took 3 times as long for an engineer to come out as it would have done if we'd have phoned the manufacturer directly. So when we initially reported the fault to them, it was Tuesday. They advised us that as an engineer was coming Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning. No engineer turned up. I had many communications with them, trying to chase it up, trying to get a job number, anything. Getting responses, but not answers, not results is probably the way to say it. They were communicating, but they weren't communicating with actions. So anyway, apparently it ended up getting the area manager of the printer company involved. I actually had a phone call with them on Friday. The manufacturer was absolutely spot on. Was like, I will get you an engineer today. That is my aim, is to get you an engineer today. Come, in effect, hell or high water. I will be jiggling jobs about to make sure that an engineer can visit you. And they did. An engineer did visit. They did come with parts. However, they didn't come with the right parts. They came with the parts that were available to them to pick up physically from their depots. But in turn, it was not the part that was needed. So he did some tweaking on the machine, and we did think we were going to be okay printing a few things. But in turn, it actually didn't work out as the right colour. Basically, we can print black and white. We can print black and white, we can print orders, but anything we want a specific colour for, i.e. our stickers, our logbooks, specific colour, nah, it is not coming out right. It will print, but we're not happy with it. Anybody tried to add an extra to their logbook later on, it would look different. So the engineer from the manufacturer was absolutely amazing. He has ordered a bulk amount of parts from their UK depot. He will be picking them up Monday morning and visiting us, and provided that those parts do fix the problem, which he does think they will, but provided they fix the problem, then we should have a working printer on Monday. The only thing is, all the preparation work, the 4 or 5 days of preparation work that I was going to do, I haven't been able to do. So it will take us a few days to get through orders and what needs printing for them and get them out. But basically we will work from the first orders placed, and they will be the first order. You know, we will print according to the orders and make sure that they all get out. So there is notes on the website before anybody ordered for launch. We have emailed any customers that were affected. Because we thought it was be fixed Wednesday, Thursday, we're like, okay, a couple of days to send out an order is fine. More than that, we're not happy. So thank goodness our customers are being amazing, and appreciate that it may take us a few days to get things out. But rest assured, we will get it sorted, because if they can't fix it, they will have to replace it. So in turn, our original printer, just to add a little spanner into the works, our original printer actually did get exchanged quicker than we expected. So it actually got exchanged within 2 weeks. So we were like, okay, let's get, it was actually a lot of logbook inserts. Let's get the original printer printing those, because for some reason the colour on those hasn't changed drastically. We went to print out inserts for orders on the new printer, which is a new one out of the box, and there is a fault with the pink drum on that printer. And of course, as you can imagine, we use pink quite a lot, especially in the pink logbook inserts. So we are actually awaiting a part to come for that machine as well. So I'm kind of expecting us to have both printers up and running on the same day, because that's probably the way it's going to be. So our backup printer is also waiting for parts for us to be able to get things to send them out. So that is why we have huge apologies that some orders will be delayed more than we would like, but we are hoping it's only by a day or two. And we're ever so grateful that you have all been so kind about the matter. Any orders that can get shipped out will of course get shipped out. And say any others, it will be as soon as possible. We will work through. Megan is currently on summer holidays as well. If we end up with both printers working, then we will both print. We will print on both printers to ensure that we can get things out to you ASAP. because we don't like sitting on orders, or at least I definitely don't like sitting on orders. I really don't like it if, you know, I like orders, things that have been ordered to be shipped out as soon as possible so they can get to you guys as soon as possible. So yeah, I think that's enough print talk because I was so stressed on Friday. Megan was like, look, Mum, let me do this, this and this and we'll deal. I was ready to just go to bed and hide under the covers, to be honest. I was just like, I don't know what to do. I'm too tired. It's too hot. It doesn't help that this is all in the middle of the heat wave as well. So just don't sleep as well at night. Hot and bothered whenever you move. I mean, I'm in here doing this WIP and chat. I'm already feeling sweaty. Yeah, I'm already feeling really, really warm, and I'll be having breaks throughout this WIP and Waffle and throughout any video that I do, you know, as many videos as I can get done this evening, just so that I can concentrate fully on the printers and not on YouTube videos. That's my aim. Get as many videos done as I can this weekend. And so probably tomorrow while it's warm, I will pack any orders that can be shipped out. So any orders that can be shipped out, they will be my priority to pack tomorrow. And then once it cools down, then I will get more filming done, so that as soon as that lovely engineer comes back to visit on Monday, and he hopefully fixes the printer, me and Megan are going to be poised and ready to go to get as many orders out as possible. And then we'll breathe. Breathe a sigh of relief and hope that all printer woes are behind us. And yeah, we can plod on as usual, hopefully, planning all the things that we have coming up and actually implementing all the things that are coming up. So should be good. Right, I am also going to do something a little bit different with comments today. So I do still have comments from older WIP and chats, and I will get to some of them, I'm sure. But I'm actually going to start from some of the newest comments that I have as I'm filming this, rather than the oldest, just for a little bit of a change. Oh, this is my colour that I'm nearly out of. Okay, this is going to be fun. I might need to grab out my spares box and see if I actually have some more of these. I am really hoping that I do, because if I don't, it is going to be extremely entertaining not having gaps. It's definitely going to put a spanner in the works for my Heaven and Earth Design August. What I might have to do is switch to my other one, and I don't really want to. I don't really want to switch to my other painting because, come on. Yeah, I don't really want to switch to the other painting because I'm enjoying getting through this one and getting ploughed through it. However, if I have too many gaps where I can't fill in the rest, if I start getting too many gaps, it actually gets too complicated. So, 352. Are you all crossing fingers? I've not even got to comment, something like. Okay, 352. Please tell me I have some 352. I know I could get my logbook, but that doesn't help with anticipation. Oh, no. My 352 is empty. Okay, Next step, 352 is emptying my squares. I don't think it will be in my Heaven and Earth design box because I don't have over 1,000. No, 352 isn't. So I've only ever saved anything over 1,000 in here. Okay. Diamond square. I'm just having a look now at actual kits that I have in here. A lot of my squares are large ones that are in boxes. That doesn't have 352. What else do I have? So some of these are not going to be easy to tell. That doesn't actually tell me the numbers. This one's a mystery one. Right, hang on. We're getting complicated. Let me zoom you out. And let's have a look if I have a hope of pulling any square paintings. Okay, that's my round. So these are my small squares. This first one is crystal, so I'm not even going to look at that one. I've got no 3s in that one. No 352 in that one. None in that one. None in that one. So I don't have any in my small square paintings that are hung up. So the only other chance I have of having squares is some of my large ones. So I'm having a quick look here. This is a Diamond Art Studio one. This is one that I actually have the diamonds out of. It's a Daisies one. And yeah, there's no 352 in that one either. What's that one? No, 3743. I'm looking at basically any pink, any purple, any peach colours. What else do I have in here that's squares? Loving Lockdown. That was one of the ones up on the wall. So I've already checked that one. And then I have Dreamer's Designs Contemplation. Don't ask me why these aren't in the box. No 352. Okay, if anybody has any 352 diamonds that they are happy to part with, please bob me an email through the contact us or in a reply to any email you may have had off us, because I'm all out. I'm all out of 352 and I need another 290 of them. So what I think, what I might do is I might think about it while I finish this row. I've just pulled a diamond out with my hands because they're all sweaty. I'm going to finish this row without putting in 352. I'm just going to have gaps, which I say is annoying. But I don't think I want to go too much further down, because while it is only one, after doing it at the top, where if I didn't have the colour, I carried on anyway. And I ended up with about 3 colours that I didn't have. It was so hard. Even the sections that I only needed 1 colour in, it was so hard to line them up and find where it was that they were supposed to be. That I'm just not going there. I have another Heaven and Earth design project, so I'm still going to do Heaven and Earth design in August. I will just move to the other one. I'll finish this row and I'll move to the other one. So if anybody has 352, that's awesome. Please let me know. If not, I may go and buy a couple of packets. But yeah, I'll see if you guys do happen to have any first. If you're in the UK, all the better, because I don't want, you know, it can be ridiculous postage basically from anywhere else. I knew I was getting low on a colour. I should have known that I'd have this big batch of Blossom now, which is when I'm using the colour. Oh well. So we've gone from highs of finishing a colour and not needing it on the painting anymore to actually running out of a colour. But hey, things happen, don't they? That's fine. We'll deal. Okay, let's have a look at comments and questions. So say I'm going to go from the most recent that I have. So Jo, she says, congratulations on the meter finish. Yes, thank you. We had a high last time. She says, and the 0 for one colour. She says, this Heaven and Earth Design Month, she said, is doing on her wonders on her old cross stitch work in progress. So if anybody's on the Facebook group, Jo has been working on a cross stitch. I think it's a tulip. I know she's doing amazing. I know her percentage keeps going up really, really well. She finished off a diamond painting and has moved on to her cross stitch Heaven and Earth design, and it is going great guns. There is nothing like focusing on something for a month, you know, whether that then continues or not, to make progress, because I've made loads of progress on this. I'm really, really happy with the progress on this one. So she says, P.S. she says, Manhui Rachel store, she said, sells poured glue canvases too. She says they're not soft like Ever Moments. She says, but the ones she got from them are good quality. She says supplies for all 3 of her Heaven and Earth designs are from them. Well, I don't know if it's going to surprise you. It may do. But just to let you know something that is coming up this week in videos, or at least is my plan to be getting filming once I've done this, is I will be de-kitting Megan's Tinkerbell painting, which was from the Manhui Rachel store. It was a few years ago, so it is a good 2 to 3 years old, but it is getting de-kitted and not being finished. It has, Megan decided to do her Tinkerbell as her like August project, because she's not doing a Heaven and Earth design yet. She has got 2 canvases, but she just wanted to get her Tinkerbell finished, so that was her challenge to do for this month. However, it's driving her loopy because it keeps having popping diamonds. So I've had the odd one on this canvas that's popped, but that is more so because I'm using my spares, or your guys' spares in some instances. So occasionally the diamonds are a bit big. However, she's having such a nightmare with it, with drills popping. She's even had it popping for ones that have been down on the canvas for months are popping, as well as ones that she's put down more recently but has rollered over, you know, to make sure that they're stuck into the canvas. And she's just losing so many diamonds, and diamonds were just popping off as she was placing other ones, like anywhere near where her hand was. They were just falling off the canvas. So I said to her, I said, look, what is it you know, ideally, like, how much do you like the picture? How much do you want to do the picture and put it up? because Megan doesn't have a lot of time to diamond paint at all. You know, the only reason she's joining in for the August is because it's summer holidays, and it's like, what is the point if you're fighting a battle with a canvas? You know, there can be a certain element of stubbornness, definitely from me, with getting a painting finished, but I diamond paint a lot more than Megan does, so it's not as much of my life or as much as my diamond painting time that gets taken by fighting with a canvas as it is of Megan's. So yeah, she decided, she's like, yeah, I'm not gonna put it up. Like, she likes the image, but the bottom section that she's done so far, she's like, it's not turning out like it would turn out okay, but it's not turning out as wow as maybe she'd have liked. So she's taken the decision to just ditch it, stop fighting the battle with it, and kit up. I'm going to be kitting up for her one of the Diamond Art Club ones instead. So she does enjoy kitting up, but I tend to pinch them so that I've got them for videos, because I haven't got one to kit up at the moment. My main diamond painting time at the moment is my Heaven and Earth design each day. I'm occasionally getting a chance to do some more of Picasso, and I do want to do my turtle, but it gives me a kitting down and a kitting up video for next week, so I'm doing it for her. And yeah, she's going to do one of her Diamond Art Club paintings, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, it actually surprised me from the Man Who Me Rachel store. I've since done a custom. I did the custom comparison. One of them was from there, and I didn't have an issue with popping drills with that one. So it may be something that they have fixed, because Megan's painting was older. It was one of the first ones we ever bought from there. So yeah, it's nice that they do stuff that's good now, but unfortunately it didn't work out for Megan. But I'm sure she'll enjoy doing one of her Diamond Art Club ones instead. There's a couple that she's really, you know, more so excited to do, so stay tuned and I'll be kitting that up this week. Liz, she says, another lovely WIP and Waffle. She says she loves how the Heaven and Earth design project is coming along. She says she's just ordered her first mystery painting from Diamond Art Club. Let me put those two down. She says a birthday treat to herself. She said it's a Celia Finish one. She loves her artwork. She says she's currently just started her third mini paint gem flower. She says they're good diamonds and they're making doing a square painting a pleasure. She said her first square painting had really bad diamonds and it actually put her off. But she's really enjoying the mini paint gems. She says she's just been lucky enough to snag herself a peach tray, her first limited edition. I was actually going to use the peach tray for this WIP Chats. However, it's actually sold out today. So I thought we'll save it for the December Advent when I do use the limited trays on YouTube. But otherwise, I try to use things that are currently in stock for my weekly WIP Chats. So I'm using the pink zesty tray because frankly it is my go-to. It's still very much my go-to tray. I don't know what about it is. It just always seems to be about, and I'll put it away and pull out another one, but then I always seem to go back to it. yeah, so I'm using the pink zesty tray, and then this is actually last month's limited edition pen. This month's limited edition pen we had a little bit less of than we normally do, as some of them didn't turn up, and they actually sold out really, really quickly. So the limited edition pen for this month I haven't had a chance to use on camera either, because I completely forgot about it when doing Fridays. Otherwise I would have used them then. But hey, I tell you, printer brain. That's what I've had, is printer brain. I've been too busy thinking about stuff that I needed the printer for to actually remember the rest of my life and what I should be doing. Oh, we got a lot of stitches in that one. Okay, let's find my next colour. 779. Celine, she says she loves watching the progress on the Heaven and Earth designs. She says she enjoys all the whips and waffles. She says, but your great milestone is wonderful. She said, great job. Reminds me of how much you were doing on Minions. Yes, I did keep getting through. Minions was another one that I sort of did a load of, and then it sort of stopped and a few projects took over. I think it may have been the custom comparisons and things that I did around the time I was doing Minions, and it basically got put back in its box for a bit and put on a massive pause. I know it gets to a massive pause when it gets put back in its box rather than still being out. Picasso is still out, even if I've not had a chance to work on him as much as I wanted to. He's still out. He's not quite got to that stage that he's got put away. But the Minions definitely did. It got put away for quite a while I was doing, say, custom comparisons and all sorts of things like that, trying to get through those paintings. And then it came back out and it became a mission to get it finished. And that is because I am loving doing the big paintings. But I'm also loving getting the Heaven and Earth design closer to being finished. So there's no winning, is there? Check through those. I didn't think there would be any, but do a quick run through the blues. I think when we get to the point of putting another fairy or something up, I may get through some of those. Nellie, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she's going to do a diamond painting on the dolphins. She says as soon as she's finished this one, she said her other is a square, and she's going to do it with flat tweezers. She says she's also going to watch one of the videos on squares, and she says that the kitchen renovation is looking great. Thank you, Nellie. That's another one of those projects that's on pause at the moment. You just end up, don't you, that just life gets in the way for a while. That actually reminds me, I did phone up the company. We want a glass splashback, backsplash. I even forget which is the UK way of saying it now. I'm so used to hearing the American way. It's like, which way is the UK way again? I phoned up the glass company in relation to that because I want glass. You can get it like tinted glass, but I want glass for being easier to clean and not getting dirty grout, because I still want that to be quite light. I don't want it to be a dark colour. And when I phoned them, I had to leave a message on the answering machine because they were on a summer break. On their summer. So I don't know whether just the whole company takes the summer off or what, but they weren't there. I left my details, but I've not heard from them yet. And apparently they are back off summer break, so maybe I need to give them a ring. that'll probably end up being another 2 weeks before I get round to that. I have priorities, and getting that done isn't it at the moment. But yeah, still loving the kitchen anyway. It still looks amazing and light and bright and just how we want it. So we will end up doing a spurt on those tweaks, probably when we do get the splashback in. Once we get that done, that will probably spur us to finish the rest and try and see if the company that we got the hexagon shelves off is still running, because we actually put that up in the old kitchen. We've had a few things in that space. We've had a big clock we had in there. Yeah, we've had a few different things up on the wall as like a statement piece, but we decided to keep the hexagons because we love them. And I'm going to see if the company still does them to get a replacement. If not, I'm going to have to see if I can fix the one that we have. And just realised that I hadn't marked that one off, but the diamond is there. So let's fix that while we're there. This pot is very full. In fact, I've just had to fall out. Even though I've taken a few out doing this pink section, it doesn't seem to be going down much. It's very, very full. Okay, next. What's next? 831. Margaret, she says, tip. She says to remove oil or powder from her drill, she uses a baby wipe. That is one thing I need to get some more of. I have always had baby wipes in this house since the kids were babies. The youngest now being 18, but I still always had baby wipes in because they're just a go-to for everything. And I actually ran out with having Puppy a couple of weeks ago, and I just keep forgetting to pick up more. But she uses a baby wipe sheet. She says she lays them on a flat surface or tray. She puts a small amount of diamonds in the middle of the sheet. She gathers up the sides, lifts it from the surface, and then rubs the sheet with the drills encased. So basically lay it out, put your diamonds on, peel up your corners like a little pouch, give them a rub-a-dub-dub, and clean the drills. That probably would be a very quick and good idea to do for these 3371s that I have that are very dusty, because it does come off, and that would probably be the quickest way, because washing them and the sieve and drying them, it's just not, I'm not feeling that. It's too long a process. Whereas the baby wipe would be a quicker process, and I'm happy with that. I will have to get some baby wipes. Get that on the next shopping trip, whether it be me or the kids or the hubby. If I just tell everybody that we need baby wipes, somebody will come home with some eventually when they've been out. It's normally the way it works in this house. Cross Stitch and Tat, she says, another great WIP and Waffle. She says she can't wait to order the advent calendar for this year. She said, thank you for everything, for all you do for the diamond painting community. Oh, thank you so much. It's your guys' support that allows me to continue to do all sorts of different things. It's definitely been a big project, the advent calendar. We'll have to see whether it becomes a second year. And I think that's more so the amount of different diamond painting products that you can do. We've tried to be varied. We've tried not to be too repetitive. You know, if there's anything that's similar but different, we've tried not to do too many. In fact, I don't think there's... I think there's things that are similar. I.e. like the same sort of category, but I actually pulled out the advent calendar that I opened last year from HAED, and there were 12 pots of diamonds in it. And as much as a pot of diamonds, like AB diamonds, they were ABs or rhinestones or something like that. As much as a pot of diamonds or some AB type diamonds are nice to have, to me I did feel as though I was getting them too often. And obviously I was, because it's like it was every other day. If there was 12 in there, that's just too many. So we've tried not to repeat anything more than twice. So there may be something, as say, when it's repeated, it's still different. But we have tried to throw in a few different things in there, just to make it fun. However, whether we can come up with 24 different things next year, I don't know. We might look at doing a smaller one if we do it again another year, maybe a 12 days of Christmas one. That's what makeup companies do. When we were looking, Megan was like, well, makeup places just do 12 days, not 24, because to keep the cost down, and the amount of products, to keep it as a variety. So maybe we'll look at that. Okay, I need case number 3, sorry. Case number 3. We've definitely got some more bulk things going on in this one, in this section. Bulk pinks, maybe. Trisha says, Rebecca, is it possible that the 0.4%, 0.04% is due to the last row being not a full 10 squares high? So on this diamond painting, when I mark that I've worked out that each section that I do is 0.4%. 0.4%. It's not even a full percent for every block that I do in this size. But I have a 0.4 at the end that just will not, I don't know where it's come from. Now, when it was first said, and I thought, oh, is that like right at the bottom of the painting? It's not a full 10 squares. That could make a difference. But it would still, if each section is 0.4, it should still be around. So can you see here, it's got 41.04. It's that 04, that 4 at the end. I don't know where it's come from. But whether it has got an extra section or not, if I counted how many sections and done and times it by 0.4%, it shouldn't give me 0.44%. So I don't know what it is. I really don't. That makes sense, but it doesn't in regards to what I've completed. If it was telling me what I had left, then that would make sense. But yeah, I don't know why it's doing it on what I've completed. And I'm going to end up with weird percentages now anyway, because I've run out of colour. So I can't even tell you what it's going to be at the end of this. It's definitely not going to be rounded. But I have checked and I have filled in everything else. So I really don't know what it is. But at least I'm sure I've filled in everything else. Maybe that's what I should check. Have I got any white bits further up? I don't think I have. See, this is what could be very, very hard to see, because it takes a while for the symbols to kick in. Because like that's not got symbols because it is filled in. It is supposed to be white. So unless there's some symbols up here that I've not marked off when I've actually finished them. See, that is actually a white. And that they've actually still got their symbols in, unless that's what it is. And I've actually missed some that way. Because can you see here, this is currently now showing us bits of white. Because of course I've not finished it all. So maybe I will do a little So I've got symbols now. Maybe I need to do a little bit of a going all the way up, see if I have any symbols that appear. That aren't, you know, that actually show as a symbol and not as a colour. And see if I've actually missed any. But I think my actual amounts stitched were a round amount. And that's what's confusing. Is they were, this was a round amount. So if I've missed any off, I don't know, I'll have to do some maths on it. That's what I'll have to do. I'll have to do some maths on the percentage and work out if the percentage I've done, if it does actually equal, can be divided by 0.4%. And if it can, then I don't know where it's come from. If it can't be divided by 0.4%, then maybe I've actually missed marking some off. Possibly when I did that whole running out of colours and I've gone through filling in the gaps, but I've actually not marked them on the sheet. So that's a good shout. I will check that out. I don't think, I haven't got a straight percentage to check it with now. But I'll have a look on one of my Instagram or Facebook posts and see if it does divide by 0.4 and equal a whole number. That's what I'll do. In fact, my battery is about to go, so I might do it now while I go and cool down, and then I'll be right back with you when I've put this in here. No, in there. No, I'm back. Suitably cooled down for the moment. I did the math. So my battery did die, but I've done the maths. So what I did was I took one of the percentages that I have put up on the group, which was a completed day. Oh, forgot I'm not on the select symbol because I was messing. Yeah, so I took one of the percentages and didn't include the extra 4 on the end. So basically I took the percentage, so like 41 rather, 41.6. It wasn't that much, but I took the percentage that I'd said and divided it by 0.4. And the day, it was a few days ago, and it did say that it did divide exactly into 98, which means that that extra 0.4% that I have is an extra. It's not part of this section, but there's nothing that I've filled in further down that I've said I've done and I haven't. So for some reason it has gained 0.4% of this process, and I have no idea why. But hey, I will continue plodding on, ignoring that 0.4%, that 0.4%, and know that it is just 0.4% per section. Oh, right, that's enough maths for anybody. Because, yeah. That's enough maths for a Sunday. And I'm still clicking on symbols that I don't have any left of. There must be quite a few bulk symbols today, because I do feel like I am not doing as many singles. And there it, of course, gives me a single. Craft Therapy with Amanda, she says, can you please explain, she says, what a brain dump is? Is it a UK thing? I don't think it's a UK thing. I think it does come from like some sort of organisation book, potentially that one that was mentioned the other day that I now can't remember the name of. But basically a brain dump is ideal if you do find that you constantly have different things going through your head that need to be done. So, you know, it could be anything. So, for example, I could have going through my head, right, I need to phone the people about the splashback backsplash. I need to phone the company about that. I need to fix the hexagon shelf. I need to pick up a hexagon shelf for my kitchen. But then it might be, okay, I need to reorder more stock for the shop. I need to film this YouTube video. I need to film that YouTube video. Or I need to, you know, get this ready for one of the kids. I need to phone the doctors, or I need to put in a prescription. You know, there can be lots and lots of basically different things that float around in our heads, especially if we are, you know, busy people. Quite often, you know, I know it's definitely happened more so since I'm not necessarily just been thinking for me, when I'm also thinking, for example, now for the shop, but when the children were younger, I was also thinking for the kids and what needed doing for them. And sometimes it just gets muddled up in there, and it's as though you re-sort out your list in your own head multiple times a day. It's like you run through it all thinking, okay, what is it that I need to do next? Oh, right, okay, this, no, that can wait, no, that can wait. And it's all going on in your head at a mile a minute, quite often while you're in the middle of doing something else anyway. So a brain dump is basically anything that you need to do, to sort, to process, to think about. All of those things that are running around in your head, whether you need to do them now, whether you need to do them later, you know, by a certain date, whether they don't have a deadline, it's just something you know, you'd like to do. All of that stuff, just put it in a list. So basically take it out your brain and dump it. That's where the brain dump phrase comes from. It's really helpful, especially if, you know, you know, to do lists of some sort is normally really helpful, because if once you find that you've written things down on a list, they don't creep up in your head as much. So when you're doing another task, you're not going through in your head all the other things you need to do while you figure out which one it is you want to do once you finish these dishes, because you've already blurted them all out onto paper, and it allows you to sort of focus clearer on what it is that you need to do next. What's your next step? What's your priorities? So I do love writing a brain dump list and that can be something that I constantly add to, just whenever anything pops into my head. It's like, right, okay, write it on the list, write it on the list. And then I like to take a minute or two most mornings. Sometimes I do it the night before, but I'll go through my brain dump list, my spat it all out list, and go, okay, these are my priorities for tomorrow. Here's my 3 priorities, and if I get them done, then I'll have a look at what else I can do. And I'll use that list instead of rattling them around in my brain 20 times throughout the day until they get done and I can go, oh yeah, I've done that. So I find brain dumps are absolutely fantastic. When I then, you know, if I then move them to another list and have like a master list, quite often that is if I have loads and loads of stuff. So sometimes I will do a brain dump of not the day-to-day things, even the long-term things. I would like to do this. I'd like to replace the windows in the house at some point in the next 5 years, for example. You know, that would go down on the list. It really depends on how much is rattling around in there as to how much I want to do stuff. Sorry, I think I was trying to work out if somebody wanted my attention or if they were just knocking the door while doing something else. So yeah, I find brain dumps, sometimes it is just if I'm getting a bit overwhelmed with the amount of things that I, you know, feel like need doing. Just writing them down allows me to view them and prioritise them and pick, you know, the best things to do. Sometimes, as I say, I do have a brain dump that, you know, might be the big, the weird and the wonderful. When I do that type of brain dump, that's often when I then split things into lists. So, you know, house project dreams, you know, and I'll have like a master list that just sits there of things I'd like to do eventually. Just if you can get it in a list, in my opinion, you can get it out your head, which means it stops cropping up all the time and gives you the space to think about what it is that you are doing in that moment, in that time. And you know that the other stuff's going to get done because it is on your list, because you do look at it on a daily basis, you do prioritise. And when that thing becomes a priority, it will get done. Or, you know, it eventually, there's always the hope that you will get to the point where things get done quicker because you don't have all the other stuff to do because you've already sorted it. So yeah, basically a brain dump is just taking everything out your head and putting it in a list, and it just clears the fog. Definitely clears the fog. Diamond Sparkle Chase. She says, when will the Advent diamond painting be available to buy in time? Will it be for sale in your shop? She says, congratulations on your milestone on your Heaven and Earth design painting. Have an awesome day. We are looking at October. All going well. No spanners in the works. We're looking at October for the launch of the Advent items. That is to enable time for orders to ship around the world and hopefully arrive. South Africa's probably the iffy one, but that's because they can take 6 months there. But yeah, the idea is that it will be October, which gives the rest of October and November for things to arrive where they need to arrive. All going well, that's what will happen. But yeah, that's the plan. October should be plenty of time for things to get where they need to get. It seems to have done well. I think we only had one painting that did decide that it didn't want to go to its owner until we had managed to put a claim in, send out a replacement, and then it decided it wanted to turn up the day after that. So we did actually only have one that decided to take its sweet time last year. Susan, she says, I love your videos. She says she watched my WIP and Chat as she was working on her first large square diamond painting. She says she practiced on a Paint Gems set first. Let me just check. Where do I want to be? I do. I want to be here. I was getting confused by that one, that little square there, and I thought it was a wrong one, but it's not. It's actually that one just above there. Thought I'd put something in the wrong place, which may still be the case. We shall see. I did get the tweezers out and fix where I put that last one in the wrong place. But the battery had gone in the camera, and I wanted to make sure that I could put it in the right place without losing it. So I did that before I went for my little cool down, which the benefits of that have disappeared already. She says she practiced on a paint gem set first. She says, and they were great for learning to place square drills. She said she also set the alarm on her phone for 5 p.m. her time today, so that she could place her order, since she was at work and would have been too late to the launch by the time she got home. She said she really wanted a blue tray and she wasn't going to take the chance on missing it. Oh, thank you. It was actually the pens that went first this time, but as I say, we did have less than normal because some of them went missing. Let me just change trays. Yeah, the pens went first. As the time of filming this, I think there is one blue tray. Is it? Yeah, one blue tray. Peach has already gone. But I'm so happy that you did get your blue tray. It's very hit and miss. Some launches go within minutes, some go within hours, and some take a couple of days. But I say, as I'm doing this, this is Saturday evening, so we've not yet been a full day yet. So I'm sure that will disappear very soon. Probably by the time this is up. Christine, she says, how's your mum's Heaven and Earth design going? She says, has she received your drills yet? Yes, she has received the drills. She did tell me on the phone that everything I said about her being in her element, sorting them all out and getting them all prepared, was true. She's been doing it a little bit day by day and enjoying the process rather than making it a mission. Also, a lovely lady in the States did go through her diamonds at the same time I was, while she was watching the video of me going through mine. And she was very kind to email me and send them directly to my mum. Well, she was happy to send them to me or to my mum, but from the States, I think postage was the same either way. So cut out the middleman, went straight to my mum. And my mum managed to tick 6 more off her list and add 2 other ones she needed. So, yeah, greatly appreciated all the help that everyone has given to my mum with her diamond. She can now do her painting. She's just doing, she doesn't use the app, so she's just using the paper chart. So she has chosen to just do 1 square at a time. I'm not sure if she's doing more than 1 square a day, but she is just doing 1 square rather than a full set like this, which I really don't blame her, because doing it like this, I can think, oh yeah, there's only a couple of that colour, and as soon as I hit the symbol, it lights up like a Christmas tree and I've missed half of them. So while she's doing it off paper, I really don't blame her for doing 1 square at a time. But yeah, she's thoroughly enjoying herself. She can now fill in the few little gaps that she had, because she was also getting to the same point that I got to with mine, is that it just got too many gaps in too many places. It can get really confusing, especially when you go to try and fill them in more so, because there's no symbol underneath and because you can't always see the lines. So like I can see a little bit of the lines that I drew on, but you can't always see them. So it can be really, really hard to know where each one goes. And on some of them, some of the spaces, it doesn't matter hugely. Like I do have a diamond that has popped off up here, and I will just put something in there that is a close match and it won't be a drama. But yeah, it can be really hard because the initial intention is to put the diamonds in the right place that they need to go. it's only when something like that happens that I'm not trying to work out what colour that is. I could probably do, but it also seems like a very big headache to me. Especially when some of these diamonds are completely different shades. So in here I have about 3 different shades of this sort of purple-ish, pinkish colour. And they're all scattered about, so I'm just putting whichever one in whichever place. But yeah, she's doing absolutely great with it, loving it. Really does not, she's enjoying the process and really doesn't mind if it takes her a good few years to complete. That's fine, because while she really enjoys diamond painting, she does want to be able to put up every single diamond painting that she does. And she's framed, so far she has framed all the diamond paintings that she's done, and they have gone in various places in her house. So for this one, she has worked out where it's going to go when it's finished, but she doesn't have an idea where any others are going to go. So she's quite happy for this one to take a while, because after that she doesn't know that she's going to diamond paint another one. Then again, she said that before. She's also said that about cross stitch, and she always ends up finding somewhere for it to go. So time will tell on that one. Never say never. Because if she falls in love with a picture, she'll find a way to put it somewhere. Christine also says, she says she began a painting recently. She said, but she did run out of a colour. She says when she went to her spares, the shade was actually totally different. She said it was supposed to be 550, but the colour that the seller supplied was closer to Christmas red. That is different, because 550 is a dark purple. 550 is one of those that's stuck in my head as to what colour it is, like 819 being a pale pink, 666 being Christmas red. So yeah, they definitely made a boo-boo there. She said the company has expressed their sincere apologies and is going to provide the correct amount of the right colour. She says the problem is that she is going to have to pick off the colour that she'd already laid down. Oh, the red. She says, do you have any suggestions to make the process quicker? She says they are rounds. I don't know that you could speed up the process. I mean, a lot of it, of course, depends on how much you've already done. I don't know a way of making the process quick. All I can suggest, and I found this easier, especially if you have bulk ones to take off, is use tweezers to take them off. That tends to be the easiest, I find. Why do I have a gap that I shouldn't have? Because I've got one that should have gone there and I put it there instead. See, look, this is what happens. So let me just have a look. This I have put 2 across and 1 down. So I've actually put it there and it should have gone there. So let's move that across. And then that one should go there. See, that's what happens when you don't pay attention. Okay. I don't have any of those. That did go down to 9 though. I've only got 9 of those to do now. Yeah, I would use tweezers and I wouldn't try and keep the diamonds that you've taken off if they're not due in your painting anywhere else, because they do pick up a little bit of the residue and they will stick together. And if, yeah, it's just not worth it if they're sending you full replacements. I also suggest that maybe you do a bit at a time so that it doesn't become a really long, tedious process. Is just do, you know, do a few and then let yourself do you know, whatever the next section is, say, of your diamond painting. If it is really too much and you don't want to take them off, then maybe see if the company will resend you the kit and get rid of that one. But then you would have to re-put diamonds down for all the colours, which might be a little bit more of a tedious process. Okay, so not that one, and then that one. This is where having bits all over the place, I do need to pay attention to where I'm placing them. Diamond Painting 6000 said, thanks for keeping me company while they work on Phoenix, which is a smaller diamond painting cross stitch pattern. She said it's a 30 by 40, and they were so happy about today's section. They said nearly no confetti. It brought them to over 50% done. Oh, see, look, you're hitting all these milestones. And here's me looking for my next. Oh, there was that one. E. Yeah, brought to over 50%. They said they are amazed by the size of the canvas that I'm doing. It's so cool. Yes, see, I thought it was cool when I started doing it. The amount of time it's taken has made me think, whew, it is a big project. But now I am doing a section each day. I am really loving how much quicker it's coming together. And I think that the thing is, if you are going to do a heaven and earth design, if you do decide to do one, it's just, a lot of it is just ensuring that you do some of it regularly. It doesn't have to be the only thing you do, unless you want it to be. But just regular, steady steps does make a huge difference when you're doing this, to see it coming along. But you see, I've got a challenge now. My mum started hers. I've got to beat her. I can't have my mum starting it 2 years after me and getting it done beforehand. That just wouldn't do. Right. I've actually got two colours mixed in there. One's like a dark purple and one's like a dark brown. So I tend to scatter the purple bits near the pink and the brown down here. Okay, E. Ina says, thank you for another nice long whip and waffle. She said, glad you've already found out what works for you with the brain dump and the to-do list. She said, this part of the painting looks gorgeous. Thank you. Yeah, it is a nice painting overall, to be fair. Just trying to check I am putting these in the right place. I've had that mistake already once today. Trying not to do it again. I also think I need to put a new glue dot in this pen. I do have some small glue dots that I started to use. The actual Glue Dots brand, they're smaller than the ones that we sell, than the Sticks 2 brand. So yeah, I've started to, I used to use them to top up a pen when it stopped getting sticky. But I found that I'm putting loads of them in and having to top it up often. And I really don't want to do that. So I've just started taking the glue dot out and putting a new Sticks 2 one in. Jeanette says, hi Rebecca, love to see the progress on your Heaven and Earth design canvas. She says she received her order. She says, and she must admit, she said that the green tray is much better in person. Well, that's good. Better in person is always better than worse in person. That is what you want. Much prefer the fact that it exceeds your expectations when it's in your hand. So thank you so much for letting me know. The cat lady, she says, thanks for another WIP and Waffle. She said she had to watch it either side of tea, which is dinner in the UK. Tea, dinner, tea time. She said, so things got a bit behind today, she says, due to the hot weather. Oh yes, everything is slower because you need to keep stopping for a cool down. That's what I'm finding. She says she's now over halfway done. She said so she should finish it by month end. She's working on a knitting project and a crochet project alongside the diamond painting. That is some projects. I don't seem to be able to concentrate on my cross stitch when I'm working on my heaven and earth design. It's like it's too many different projects to do at once, but at least I'm getting one done. She says, woohoo, a Christmas advent. She said that's a good suggestion for a Christmas gift idea for me, she says. Yeah, we'll get it on your Christmas list. We will be doing just a limited amount. We've got no idea how it's going to go. So we'll have to see how popular it ends up being. Hopefully we've got enough for the people that want them. We're just still, we think we've finalised everything that is in it. We do need to work out costing and packaging and stuff as well though. It's not going to fit in one of those big box advent calendar things like HAED did. We're doing it a bit different. Tati says, hello Rebecca. Said maybe the 0.4% reading is because you're not doing the one row at the end. It won't be because of that. The only reason being is even though there is a row on the end of this painting, it's still a full block of 10. So these are all still 10s. This is actually an extra row. I don't know whether it's just because of the centimetre measurement, the seller decided to put one extra row on it, or whether it's, you know, because even though each diamond is done as 0.25, which means it's 4 diamonds per centimetre, I think the squares are actually slightly smaller. It's like a fraction of it, so by the time you add a few of those fractions it equals a full square. So yeah, it is actually still a full row of 10 at the end. Otherwise that would be the perfect reason why. When I get to this section I actually have the 10 and this is number 11. So good shout though, if it was an extra or one less for the row. So I really don't know where that 0.4%'s gone. I could in effect import the chart again and tell it that I have done all the blocks from the top, and maybe it won't do it. But it is, I only look at the percentage for the purposes of the likes of this moving along in August. I've been doing it for 2 years and this is the first time that I have established that it is 0.4% that gets completed each time, is doing it each month, each day. It's the only time that I've paid attention to that. So maybe I'll stop paying attention anyway once this August month is done. As long as I get it finished and get to 100%, I'm good. Okay, we're nearly done. Jackie, she says, her name for me, she says, when she mentions me to friends and family is Rebecca, my diamond painting guru. There is still many things I don't know, Jackie, but I'll be happy to be your guru. But you guys teach me things all the time as well. I'm not constantly researching diamond painting things and looking into things that people have found out. So I do appreciate it when you guys share your ideas and things you've heard as well. Rebecca Smith, she says, congratulations on your 2 milestones. She says, if you really wanted to know what the blue part will become, she says you can open the mock-up for the chart on Pattern Keeper in the chart settings. So you can actually see what each completed part is, and then it will show you. See, I don't even mess with Pattern Keeper that much. As long as it does what I want it to do, and I found that as long as I close the app down fully, close the app when I've finished, it works for highlighting the symbols afterwards, because I did have a little glitch where if I lock the screen for this now and then open it up and try clicking on excuse me and end up clicking on a symbol, if I've done it where I've just locked the screen and opened it again, it doesn't highlight everything. It like has a little bit of a thinking fit, and it can sometimes put symbols in the wrong places. But I found if I close down the app every time I'm finished, it's fine. So I am now on 41.24%. There is 7 diamonds that I have not put in their place. So this one is still highlighted because I've now run out. And if I scroll across, so I am going to need them for one section, but not for the other one. But I think they do go down a bit, yeah. So if you have a look, I need them here. I need them scattered all the way here, which is in the blossom. And I need them all the way down here. And then I don't need them till a lot further down. But, oh look, I've even got some right down here at the bottom. I don't know if you can quite see that, but there's about 2 here and 1 here before my whole 290 are done, because it highlights it on the green. But, where's my little sheet? I am over here at the moment. I'm sort of about on that row above there. So this is where it's using all that pink, is all these bits of blossom that all scatter around there. Maybe a bit further up actually. So it's all that sort of blossom that needs it. And this blossom around here. And then it doesn't need it until this blossom, and then this blossom, and then down here, which actually looks like another little bit of blossom. So that's where it's all scattered about. So if any UK peeps can help me out, absolutely awesome. Bob me an email. But I am going to continue with these 2 squares. So hopefully I will get one done on Sunday. My Sunday, because of course I'm filming this on Saturday, though I'm not sure. It's a very, very busy weekend this weekend, so it might be that I don't get one done. I'm just having a look now to see if I've got a dark green, or maybe a dark, no, not a dark grey, dark green or a dark blue. I was trying to see if I had one in this setup that I could put in, because sometimes I look at them and I think, oh yeah, that'll work, and then I pull it out and I'm like, actually no, that won't. No, I think I need one out of another case, so I'm going to wait, and I will pop that little missing one. I will pop something in there, a dark brown or a black or a dark green, By the looks of it, it was a green. It looks as though it actually had a little bit of plastic underneath it that stuck on. But yeah, I will fix that hole probably when I get to here and I'm dealing with more greeny colours. I'll bob one in up there. And yeah, you may see me back on the next Heaven and Earth design with my other one. Who knows? Stay tuned to see which Heaven and Earth design I come back with on the next Heaven and Earth design WIP and Chat, which I have down for Thursday. So all going well with the heat, with the schedule, with the printers. Hopefully I'll be back with a Heaven and Earth design on Thursday. But in between, I am going to be getting a bit of kitting up and kitting down done for Megan, and of course my last Diamond Art Club unboxing from the 6 for 4 deal I have this week, and that's actually a diamond painting for me. Yeah, before I've got my extra little sneaky one that I may have ordered. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining me, and I am going to go put this away. I've just realised I've not done it, but I'll go do that now. But I'll let you guys get on with the rest of your day. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.